Hi, guys. Today I want to talk about an amazing self care routine or plan that you should be incorporating into your life more regularly. So let's talk about it. Have you ever heard of mindfulness? Mindfulness is a practice that causes you to slow down and pay attention to things going on within your environment. It's said that mindfulness can ultimately change your life because the reality is we have so many things vying for our time and our attention. And so we're constantly focused on a million things and easily distracted by a million things. But mindfulness causes you to slow down and focus on the moment. Many of us, when we've experienced some sort of change or traumatic event, will focus on the future and get so anxious, or will focus on the past and get so frustrated. But mindfulness allows us to slow down and focus on the present and reminds us that everything is okay after all. So you're likely wondering, how can you actually go about implementing mindfulness in your life? Great question, because that's what we're going to talk about. So the first way to implement mindfulness is to identify one activity that you do on autopilot or as a routine. And instead of rushing through it, slow down. So maybe it's while you take a shower. Maybe it's brushing your teeth. Maybe it's tying your shoes or getting dressed. Whatever it is, I suggest you take a moment and slow down and ask yourself, what does this taste like? What do I see? What do I feel? What am I thinking? And slowly do the activity while you ask yourself these questions. What you may come to see is that you actually enjoy the activity after all. For me, I tried this with brushing my teeth. And usually it sounds crazy, but because I'm so busy, I would spend time brushing my teeth and checking my text messages, or brushing my teeth and checking my email. But when I incorporated mindfulness into the brushing of my teeth activity in the morning and in the evening, I realized that there's a lot to be said about that activity. I could feel what my gums were telling me. I could think about maybe thoughts that I had let pass through the day. I could really understand the benefit of brushing my teeth, and it made me want to focus on it more in depth. Now, this may sound silly, but because we're always rushing or because we're always trying to multitask, we can miss important messages. We can miss important hints or ideas because of that. And so mindfulness really helps you to slow down and take in those thoughts that you're overlooking throughout the day and to enjoy those routine activities that we often overlook. The second way to incorporate mindfulness is to incorporate it first thing in the morning, like when you wake up. The thing is, mindfulness sets the tone for how we're going to interpret other experiences. And the first part of your day sets the tone for your nervous system. And so if you wake up cluttered and, flustered and, unorganized and chaotic, the rest of your day is going to reflect that. But if you wake up and you're slowly getting out of bed and you're paying attention to your body and you're paying attention to your surroundings and your environment and the temperature and how you're feeling and what your body is saying, then throughout the rest of the day, you're going to have more mindful responses and more calm responses, which is ultimately what we deserve and we desire. A third way to incorporate mindfulness into your life on a regular basis is to incorporate it while you wait. How many places do we go in our life where we have to wait? We wait at a stoplight. We wait in the grocery store line. We wait at the mall. We might wait, behind a stop sign, but we're constantly waiting. For me, my biggest, longest, and most exhausting wait is taking my children to school and being in the drop-off line or the pickup line. It's an extremely long process for doing something so simple. And a lot of times that can stir a lot of frustration or emotions with me, especially when I have everything else vying for my time and attention and I have to go and I have to run and do this and I just feel frustrated. And so in those moments when you're waiting, one of the best suggestions is to be mindful. Pay attention to your settings. What do you notice? What do you see outside of your window? What are you feeling? What do you see with other people that are also waiting? What can you learn from the experience of waiting? What thoughts have you been thinking about all day that you pushed out that maybe you need to pay attention to and address? Practicing mindfulness is so important, especially during those down times, because we're always go, go, go. But if you can really take a moment to slow down, you're teaching yourself that it's okay to be still for a moment, that it's okay to be in tune and in touch with your thoughts and your beliefs and your body. So now you may be asking, how do you actually incorporate it? Great question. The research says that actually having small bursts of mindfulness throughout your day is said to be more effective than having a long mindfulness practice. And so instead of going to like a weekend retreat and doing 2 days of mindfulness activities, you can find small ways that you can incorporate it throughout your day. It can be a 15-minute session when you first wake up in the morning. It can be a 20-minute session while you're sitting and waiting for your children to come out of school. It can be a 20-minute session before you go to bed at night. Whatever it is, you want to try to incorporate mindfulness on a regular basis because, as I stated before, it teaches your nervous system that it's okay to be calm, that you don't have to always be hyper alert, that it's okay to be reflective. And you teach yourself that it's a regular habit that you should be incorporating within your life. As a clinical therapist, I used to do a lot of mindfulness because I recognized that it was a great response to traumatic experiences. And so a lot of times I'd get clients that would come to me that struggled with panic disorder or severe depression or severe anxiety. And what I would do is I would incorporate mindfulness into our practices. And so one of the ways, an additional way that you can incorporate mindfulness is when you're experiencing something sudden that's traumatic or something that's frustrating or something that's causing anger or sadness. So the way in which I've incorporated mindfulness in these situations is instead of focusing on the situation, I would have myself or my client slow down and focus on something totally different. And so it would be a simple activity such as what's going on in the room around you? What do you notice in the room around you? And so I may say something like, find 5 blue objects. Now find 4 red objects. Now find 3 orange objects, 2 green objects, and 1 black object. And in that moment, while they're forced to slow down and pay attention to what's happening around them instead of what's happening inside them, it gives them a chance to slow down and then to redirect their thoughts and then discuss what it is they're feeling. This works really well with severe panic or severe like anger and you feel like you're going to act on it. Because like I said earlier, a lot of times we're so frustrated and angry with the future or anxious about the future, or we're so concerned about what happened in the past that we're missing what's happening in the moment. And when you do a mindfulness grounding practice like that, it allows you to stay in tune with your moment. Another great strategy is visualization. And so maybe you're really struggling with your current environment or your current situation. What if we visualize what it is you would like to experience and really hone in on that moment? So I would ask them, close your eyes, and you can do this now. Close your eyes and tell me a time that made you feel super excited. Where were you at? So maybe you were at a beach or you were on vacation. What did you feel? What did you like? What did your body tell you? It could be something that hasn't actually happened, but you'd like it to happen. So close your eyes and tell me where you're at. And so maybe you're in your new house that you just built. What do you see around you? You see granite, tabletops, and you see brand new furniture, and you see your children having fun and laughing, and you see yourself smiling and engaging with the TV or the radio or your husband or your wife or your significant other or a friend or a family member. What do you feel? What is your body telling you? What emotions do you associate with this situation or this experience? When we take time to slow down and visualize what we desire, more so than focusing all our attention on what we don't like and what we don't want and what's currently not going right in our life, it really changes our perspective, right? It changes our lens so that we're able to focus on what we desire and not on what we, are frustrated with or we hate. And therefore allowing you to see that you can create new emotions and new experiences and new sensations within your body at any given moment. Mindfulness helps us to recognize that the conditions of our life is based on our present circumstances. Our home is not in the past. Our home is not in the future. Our home is in the here in the now. And when we start making significant changes and shifts that we need within our life, you'll notice that your life will ultimately change. And so start to incorporate mindfulness as a regular practice and watch it change your thoughts, your mind, your actions, and ultimately your life. Mindfulness doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be difficult. It can, in fact, be extremely fun. And the more regularly you implement it, the more you'll start to notice those changes that you deserve and desire. And the quicker you'll build that confidence to step into your purpose unapologetically. So, comment below and let me know how you're going to go forward with implementing mindfulness and making it a regular practice. Until next time, I'll chat with you guys later.